Gordon's got the ground game. It's a coach. You're immersed in the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a look at Melvin Gordon, fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Denver Broncos taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. We're about 12 miles south of the future home of the Chargers at the current home of the Chargers, and that's Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Tonight, it's the final morsel in our Thanksgiving feast, and we've got a good one in store. Between Hi, everybody. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in a perfect 10-0.
And it's not just that they're winning, it's how they're winning. All phases of the game coming together for this team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Time to set the old turducken aside and get ready for football as here we go on a Thanksgiving night. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down here as the penalty flags come in right away, and we may have a face mask here right at the start. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now back to throw. Hunter Henry brings it in. He breaks through another tackle. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, LA. Hunter Henry with touchdown number 8 on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well-organized, well-coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent, too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down. First carry for Royce Freeman. And running room scarce. Scrimmage. Looking to throw on second down. Lock. He completes it to Tate. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 45-yard line.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Lock throwing on target to Fant. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. The numbers for him from a week ago. 8 catches, 67 yards.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep deep enough into the season where numbers count, this is the #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run for the first time with Phillip Lindsay. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation. Take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys that have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Eighth play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Throwing his lock on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Gay's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. He's by himself, Keenan Allen, and all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. With Lindsay. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. And the throw there going to be incomplete. That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Taking it about the 16. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
The numbers a week ago from Melvin Gordon. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week.
Well, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Kendrick Bourne, his 5th touchdown now on the year. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead.
Well, Brandon, if we go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator, he showed us his script. Didn't show us everything now. He said, here's the script for the game. I think everything's going according to plan in a big way. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's about as good. That is as good as you can do, I guess. So, well done.
Yeah, well done indeed. Tremendous execution.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. 21-3 is your score after 1. On 2nd and 12. Lock. Incomplete. This is Albert Wilson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
X3, 218, chop.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And picked up by the Chargers. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Chargers in good field position to start out. 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Now a pass here caught by Hunter Henry. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And a nice gain at 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. 18 big yards on that one, and a Charger first.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? And this is complete. It's Allen. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. No problem there on the extra point. And the rout is on here in this first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken near the 13. And he loses the football a second time. And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. Back to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Got a man, it's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point splits the uprights, and a rout is on here in this first half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Cortland Sutton and the rest of the offense getting ready for their next drive. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Faking the give to Lindsey. Here's Locke. Now Locke, he lost the football. It's out. But it looked like, fortunately, the Broncos able to recover.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Chargers will be set up pretty well as they take over in great field position. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And it's been a good game for him to this point.
Ready up. 80 weapons. Check. Can. Sneak grip.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got Gordon open, completes it. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning.
Touchdown, LA! As his guys are in for 6, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Point after, right down the middle. And the rout is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
He's got his man. This is Tate. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Now the Broncos are going to call the first. 7 seconds to go in half number 1. On first down, Tate. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From the 44, Locke finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 43. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now the Broncos will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Locke. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. 1st and 10 at the 19. So we've reached halftime here on a Thanksgiving night as we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Once again, hope everyone out there has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Settling down now to watch Thursday Night Football. Let's take a look ahead to what's coming here on the rest of this holiday weekend. The best of the early games on Sunday may just be in Buffalo, where the Bills face a big test as they'll square off with the New Orleans Saints. Good stuff to follow on the West Coast in the afternoon window, one being out in Oakland, where it'll be the Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And finally, Monday Night Football. They've got a good one lined up between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. On second down. It's Lindsey, a pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
From the gun on third down, Locke, and that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Denver. And we'll see what he can do on the return. Fighting his way through contact. There he goes left side. And he will score. Touchdown, LA. That'll go down as an 84-yard punt return as his guys continue to pour it on. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Locke and the Broncos going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Lindsey. Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Play action. Now it's Locke. This is the tight end fan. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. Locke now, 11 of 16 through the air. It's 1st and 10. They fake the handoff. Now Locke. His throw incomplete. Cortland Sutton is the man he was looking for. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Get in the weight room.
Locke will try again on 2nd down. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 34-yard line.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football. And picked up by the Chargers. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Melvin Gordon, 56 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. They've done a good job of holding him down in the first half, but he explodes for a big one right there.
Yeah, I've got an image in my head of him being surrounded by a bunch of people, really, with ropes and other things trying to keep him locked in. But eventually they got tired, too. And just as you noted, he broke out.
And it's a guy that usually you can only keep down for so long. The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by one more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over. The other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw it is Locke, and they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage.
He's got a man, complete. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. An excellent gain, 35 yards. Now, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to
pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And picked up by the Chargers. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And this is going to be a Charger touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching him.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Extra point safely through, and that will extend this big lead. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Locke and the Broncos going to come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Here we go.
They'll go again with Lindsey. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have. And what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
21 yards. Well done on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. And the highlights roll, and there have been a lot of them.
He is absolutely stuffing the stat sheet, isn't he? I mean, you name it, he's doing it. Getting in the end zone multiple times, big check. On the defense every which way, and so far they've had no answer for him.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on 1st down. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield, and finally brought down at the 38. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Give him 12 yards there. The Chargers have a 1st down.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry, and that'll bring up 2nd down. They run it here with Gordon. A little second effort there on the strong run, and then drop just inside of the 20. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time, and he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with touchdown number 27. That ties Priest Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year as his guys continue to pour it on. The extra point up and good. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
Yeah, they are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Back to the air on second down. It's Locke. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. The Broncos on third down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. They'll try to draw Lindsey. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Boy, it's the same old song, isn't it? And right now, this one doesn't sound too sweet. They've been thoroughly outclassed so far. And there's another tackle for a loss.
Yeah, that's something that we've said quite a bit in this game. This is taken at about the 14. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing, so no turnovers might lead to no victory.
They'll set up to throw. Got a man, it's complete. Williams. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the 4th down play to result in 23 yards. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They go play action here on 1st down. Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. And he's in for a Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the 2nd most in a single year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Point after, right down the middle, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing his lock on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Was hoping to make a play there on the return with his speed. Instead, he makes a play for the other side.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard coaches say, you know, sometimes it's not really about those X's and O's we draw up. It's about those Jimmies and Joes. And when you have a punt returner, he's one of those Jimmies and Joes, one of the best athletes. He's unable to make the play that they were seeking, though.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Gordon breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And some room to... There goes Melvin Gordon. 30, 20, 10. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches.
And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 49 yards. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the home team here, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, their luck may have run out as they fall to 4-7 now on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. And for Charles Davis and our